How did Moses say the law should be taught? At the end of the book of Deuteronomy, Moses gives command on how the Torah is supposed to be taught to the nation of Israel. And I think it could be useful in reflecting on this and in assessing how the law should be taught today. Let's look at Deuteronomy 31. And Moses commanded them to say, from shedding of 7 years, in meeting of year of the release, in celebration of the shelters, in coming of all of Israel, to be seen before Yahuwah, your Elohim, in place which he chooses. You shall call this Torah in front of all of Israel in their ears. Cause to assemble the people, the mortals and the women and the child and your sojourner, which is in your gates. To purpose of they shall listen, and to purpose of they shall learn, and they shall fear Yahuwah your Elohim, and they shall guard to do all of words of this Torah. And their sons, which they knew not, they shall listen, and they shall learn to fear Yahuwah your Elohim, all of the days which you are living ones on the ground, which you are ones crossing the Jordan toward there to occupy it. Every 7 years, at the year of release, in the celebration of the shelters, that is, Sukkoth, when all of Israel is being seen before Yahuwah, your Elohim, in the place which he chooses, they are reading the Torah before all of Israel, so that all of Israel is going to hear it. This includes the men, the women, the children, and the sojourner. They are doing this so that Israel will listen, and so that they will learn, so that they will fear Yahuwah your Elohim, and they will guard to do all words of this Torah. And the children which have not heard it before, which do not know the Torah, they will hear, they will listen, and they shall learn to fear Yahuwah your Elohim all of the days which you are living ones on the ground. And we also see in Deuteronomy 4:5, see, I learned you enactments and judgments, as which Yahuwah my Elohim commanded me to do so in midst of the land which you are ones coming toward there to occupy it. We see that he had learned them enactments and judgments. This learned is the same word in the Hebrew that we saw earlier when Israel is learning to fear him. That Hebrew word contains both the idea of learning and teaching. So Moses had perceived he had already taught them the commands. How is it that he taught them? And how is the law intended to be taught? Moses was receiving the commands from Elohim, and he was delivering them to the people, and he was writing them down. And it was through the reading of this Torah, what he had written down, that the people were expected to learn how to fear Elohim, to learn to guard to do all of the commands. Now, obviously, today we are in a different situation. We are in a slightly different situation because that is not our native tongue anymore. None of us speak the language exactly as it was spoken at that time. There is a level of ignorance about the language of the Torah that was not present for them at that time. So there is an issue of learning the distinctions and the categories of the language, learning more about what the Torah originally meant outside of simply how it has been translated, thinking about it in a sense outside of the language that maybe we grew up using. Now, that being said, where is the attention being placed in the teaching of the Torah? Where did Moses perceive the utility in teaching the Torah? Now, having personally gone through and read aloud all of the commandments of the Torah during the Day of Assembly one year, I can say that it definitely takes a while to do. It's not something that's going to be accomplished in any quick period of time. So if one is going to the effort of including all of the oral Torah, there is almost no way that would be possible. There is no way it would be possible and actually have people listen to it. There is no way that all of the people could be expected to learn the oral Torah in that time. It just would not work. Obviously, it's going to be the issue of the written Torah. And also, there would not be this time to go into some in-depth explanation regarding each commandment. They wouldn't have the time to go and say, this is actually a foreshadowing of some future event. They would not be able to say that, well, this is actually a symbol for something else, or the higher meaning of this is that it's actually dualistic. There wouldn't be the time to go into all of that, and that is not actually mentioned in how the people are expected to learn it. What is it that the people are learning? Are they learning about all of the higher meanings and the supposed symbols and the supposed foreshadowing of the Torah? Instead, what we see is that they are learning, they are fearing, and they are guarding to do all of words of this Torah. So I want us to consider, what is it that Moses thought was important about the Torah? What is it that he thought was important for the nation at large to learn? Keep in mind that this is the man that was uniquely chosen by Elohim. This was the man that spoke to Elohim faces to faces, as it says. What did he consider the important part of the Torah? What was important is that they are learning to fear Elohim, and they are learning to guard to do all of his ways. Should this not also be our focus in how we are learning the Torah, in how we are teaching the Torah? Thanks for watching. Feel free to check out some of my other videos on other Torah issues, and be sure that you stay in touch so we can continue this discussion. Thanks for watching. Remember the commands. Shalom.